In the annals of exploration, one name echoes with the thunder of a fleet so vast it defies belief. A name that sailed the seas a century before Columbus, commanding ships that dwarfed European vessels. This is the story of Zheng He, the Admiral of China's legendary treasure fleet, and his voyages that charted a new course for history. Born in 1371 in the mountainous province of Yunnan, his name was not Zheng He, but Ma He. A member of the Muslim Seymour people, his world was violently upended when the Ming Dynasty conquered the region. Captured, brutally castrated, and pressed into service, the young boy's future seemed bleak. He was assigned to the household of a formidable prince, Zhu Di, a brilliant and ruthless military commander with eyes on the throne. In the young Ma He, Zhu Di saw a reflection of his own ambition, intelligence, loyalty, and an unyielding will. Ma He became his trusted aide, fighting alongside him in brutal campaigns to secure the northern border, proving his worth as a warrior and a masterful strategist. In 1402, after a bloody civil war, Zhu Di seized the throne, proclaiming himself the Yongle Emperor. His ambition was limitless. He sought to project Ming power across the known world, not through simple conquest, but through a grand strategy of diplomacy, trade, and an overwhelming display of naval supremacy. He envisioned a global order with China at its undisputed center. To realize this vision, he ordered the construction of a fleet on an unprecedented scale. In the bustling shipyards of Nanjing, an army of craftsmen toiled day and night. The heart of this armada was the baochuan, the treasure ship. These were floating cities, multi-storied behemoths stretching over 400 feet long and 160 feet wide. For perspective, Columbus's flagship, the Santa Maria, was a mere 85 feet long. It could have easily fit on the deck of a single treasure ship. These vessels were technological marvels, featuring watertight compartments, balanced rudders for superior maneuverability, and 9 towering masts, each flying acres of red silk sails. They were floating fortresses, bristling with cannons, and capable of carrying over 1,000 men. In the summer of 1405, the first treasure fleet was ready. Over 300 ships and nearly 28,000 men, sailors, soldiers, diplomats, and scholars gathered in Nanjing's harbor. At its head was the emperor's most trusted commander, Ma He, now granted the new honorific name Zheng He. His grand mission was about to begin. The first voyage set a course for the Indian Ocean, the bustling crossroads of global maritime trade. Their primary destination, Calicut, India, a legendary port city famed for its spices and riches. This was no simple trade mission. It was a powerful statement of Ming China's re-emergence on the world stage. Along the way, the fleet made port in Champa, modern-day Vietnam, and Siam, present-day Thailand, establishing diplomatic ties and demanding acknowledgement of the Ming Emperor's supremacy. Resistance was not tolerated. One of the greatest threats to their route was the notorious pirate Chen Zui, who controlled the vital Strait of Malacca. With a massive fleet of his own, he preyed on merchant vessels. Zheng He's armada engaged and annihilated the pirates' forces, capturing Chen Zui and taking him back to Nanjing for a very public execution. The message was unequivocal. The sea lanes belonged to the Ming Dynasty.
The second and third voyages, from 1407 to 1411, solidified Chinese influence in the region. They returned to the courts of India and even ventured to Ceylon, modern-day Sri Lanka. Here, Zheng He intervened in a local conflict, deposing a hostile king and installing a ruler more favorable to Chinese interests. He was a diplomat with an iron fist. The fourth voyage, commencing in 1413, pushed the boundaries of exploration further than ever before. After docking in India, a significant portion of the fleet sailed west into waters largely unknown to the Chinese, rounding the Arabian Peninsula and making landfall on the coast of Africa. In the vibrant port of Hormuz, at the mouth of the Persian Gulf, and the ancient city of Aden, Chinese silk and porcelain were exchanged for pearls, precious stones, and exotic animals. The fleet's arrival was a spectacle, its sheer size and strict discipline astonishing local rulers. From Arabia, a detachment of the fleet sailed south along the Swahili coast, reaching the shores of modern-day Kenya and Somalia. These encounters were peaceful, marked by mutual curiosity and trade. Chinese chroniclers meticulously recorded details of African culture, geography, and wildlife. The most legendary prize from this voyage was a giraffe brought back from the ruler of Malindi. Presented to the Yongle Emperor in Beijing, the exotic creature was hailed as a qilin, a mythical beast from ancient lore whose appearance signified heavenly favor and immense prosperity for the emperor's reign. 3 more epic voyages followed between 1417 and 1433, expanding the tribute system and cementing China's naval dominance over the Indian Ocean. In total, Zheng He's fleet visited over 30 countries, creating a vast maritime order with China at its center, a Pax Sinica, a Chinese peace on the high seas. But back in the imperial court in Beijing, a political tide was turning. The Yongle Emperor died in 1424. His successors, heavily influenced by a deeply conservative Confucian bureaucracy, viewed the voyages as an extravagant and dangerous waste of resources. These scholar officials argued that the expeditions were a massive drain on the treasury, money better spent on defending the northern borders against a resurgent Mongol threat. The spirit of outward-looking exploration began to die, replaced by a growing, deep-seated isolationism. In 1431, Zheng He, now an old and weary man, was ordered to embark on his 7th and final voyage. It was one last grand display of Ming glory, intended to reassert Chinese prestige. He would not return. Zheng He died on the voyage home in 1433 near Calicut, the site of his first great success, and was buried at sea, his final resting place the ocean he had mastered. Upon the fleet's return, the era of Chinese exploration was officially and abruptly over. The great treasure ships were decommissioned, left to rot in their harbors. More devastatingly, court officials, in a shocking act of historical vandalism, ordered the destruction of most of the official logs and records of the voyages. This deliberate act of erasure created centuries of debate and mystery. Why were the records burned? Was it a simple power struggle between the court eunuchs like Zheng He and the Confucian bureaucrats, or a concerted effort to erase a chapter of history that clashed with the new isolationist ideology? The consequences were profound. China, once the world's undisputed maritime power, turned its back on the sea.
The Haijin, or sea ban, was enacted and strengthened, forbidding all private sea travel. The technological secrets of the treasure fleet were lost to time.
Less than a century later, small European ships would round Africa and sail into the Indian Ocean. They discovered a power vacuum. The mighty Chinese fleet that could have dwarfed their own and challenged their arrival was now a distant memory, a legend whispered in the coastal ports.
Zheng He's legacy is a powerful testament to an early era of globalization, one that predates the European age of discovery. His voyages demonstrate a period of remarkable Chinese technological advancement and extensive global connectivity.
From a mutilated captive boy to the admiral of the greatest fleet of his time, Zheng He's life was nothing short of extraordinary. His voyages remain a monumental achievement, a brief, brilliant chapter of global exploration that forever challenges our understanding of who truly charted the world. The story of Zheng He and the treasure fleet reminds us that the currents of history flow in many directions, often charting courses far grander and more complex than we've been taught. A century before Columbus, the Ming Dynasty was already connecting the world in ways we are only now truly appreciating. We hope you've enjoyed this incredible journey into one of history's most ambitious maritime sagas. Uncovering these untold chapters, the figures who shaped them, and the civilizations that created them, that's what we're dedicated to here at The History of Us All. If you want to continue exploring the forgotten heroes, monumental empires, and pivotal moments that shaped our world, please subscribe to our channel now and click the video on your screen to set sail on another epic historical voyage with us. We'll see you in the next chapter of history.